Newest technique, sweeping the nation for your 2024 season. Out with the old, in with the new, baby. Let's go.
Will Bishop here at Custom Crafted Concepts. Tonight in the shop, we've got Aaron from Off the Scales Fishing.
How y'all doing?
He's going to show us the newest technique coming to a lake near you.
Appreciate it, Will. Yeah, man, so this new technique is, I mean, just crazy, y'all. Like, it's catching all the fish right now. It's been out for about 7-8 months. When it comes to your new hover strolling, hooks, trailers, jig heads, man, we got you covered tonight, man. We're about to get into it.
You brought the arsenal tonight.
I did bring the arsenal. All the stuff that I've been doing research on.
Well, so not to date myself, but I'm coming from the Kitech swim baits. So I want you to show me the newest techniques. So I'm seeing multiple baits here, and every one of them look different to me.
Kind of to open it up is the VMC hybrid jig head. This is the very first jig head I've bought. When I started getting into this technique, this thing has been really good. What really turned me on to this is watching Jacob Wheeler just clean up on championship day. He caught, bass on the final day, over 35 bass in the 5 to 6 pound range on pressured water, Gunnersville tournament last year, and just slayed them with this thing. Just completely ran away with the tournament.
And that's really when the world really opened their eyes on this new technique. That's really when it kind of came out of the bag.
It did. That's pretty much when everything got leaked, because this is, from even your old school, all this stuff was discovered in Japan, and now it's leaked to the States. I feel like Jacob Wheeler kind of leaked that, man, and ever since I kind of got on board with it and just ran with it, and it got me back into fishing spinning gear again and all these finesse techniques.
Oh yeah, light line.
Man, I came up with a spinning rod in my hand. Living up north, me and Dad fishing for walleye on big water, clear water, and then I moved down south. Been here for 20 odd years. Got back into bass fishing, and haven't fished spinning gear for a long time because I started getting into bait casters. But I'm back. And what really did it for me was fishing about a month ago, doing this hover stroll and mid stroll and bottom strolling. And I'll tell you what, man, I caught a 9-pounder that day. But really what got me was fishing a main lake point. I made a long cast and on slack line, mind you. And when that bait was falling on these super, light jig heads, I felt the bite on slack line in my hand, and I was just like, wow, dude, I've been missing out. Hey guys, so here's a demonstration on how to fish it. Please forgive the wind, it's awfully windy out here. So yeah, you're just gonna, make a cast, and when you're retrieving it, when you get down to where you need it, where the fish are, you're just gonna shake your rod tip, on a steady retrieve. So that's basically all that's to it. It's not like it's rocket science how to fish the hover technique. Obviously this goes hand in hand with you forward-facing sonar guys. I don't have forward-facing sonar myself, but I'm gonna show you guys a little trick that you can see on your normal depth finder, fish finder. I got a Humminbird 7, and I have side imaging, down imaging, and 2D. So, that's how I search for the fish, on my side imaging. And, and then I'll set up and make a cast on them. So, make your cast. And, depending on where the fish are in the water column, all you really got to do, guys, is just count that weight down. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. For like your deeper water, when you're fishing deeper water, because this 9 times out of 10, this is a deeper water technique. In open water or offshore. Obviously when they're shallow, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? But But yeah, I mean, that's all that's to it, guys. I mean, you're literally just going to be shaking your rod and reeling. And when you shake that rod, that's what's going to give you that good side-to-side stroll, or, you know, side-to-side roll that you want for this technique. That's what shaking the rod, you know, is going to do. That's exactly what's going to put the action in the bait and make it look realistic.
Man.
That's what really got me back into it. And ever since then, it's hard for me to put the spinning gear down, you know, just trying to, you know, perfect this technique, because this right here is going to get your bites when nothing else is working. I mean, it's, you know, I think it's that good.
You know, that's all new to me. You know, I'm coming from the Kitech side of it. You know, the boot tails and stuff like that. This is the pin tails.
Yep.
You know, walk me through some of the baits you brought.
Yeah, man, the pin tails. So, let's get into the jig heads first. I'll give you guys a rundown real quick. I already spoke about the VMC hybrid jig head. It's a screw lock. I'm going to get into a trailer here in just a minute that's designed for this. Or, you know, some of these trailers are made for that side-to-side stroll. That side-to-side action, I should say. I'm sorry. But, so the BMC hybrid jig head, and then I got into the the Angler Tungsten Eclipses. To my knowledge, this is the only tungsten ball head that they make, which, you know, is going to be phenomenal for bottom strolling. You'll be able to feel it a little bit more, like, you know, if you're fishing rocks or what have you. Then you got the Dirty Jigs Guppy head. Another phenomenal, you know, jig head. You know what I mean?
Essential.
Yeah, these have been around for a while. Will's been fishing it on your you know, your Kitech swing impacts, all that type of stuff. Tactical Bats have designed that, and you know, anything they do is going to be freaking, you know, awesome, top notch. And then you get into your darter heads. This one's pretty unique because it's a lot more streamlined. This is going to be more of a summer technique when the bass's metabolisms are high. You know, this is actually called a darter head. It's a BF darter head, and this right here is going to be a little bit different. This is not going to be your side-to-side, you know, hover stroll. This thing's going to be darting all over the place when you fish it in the summer. You're going to fish it kind of the same way, but you're going to just it's going to be a lot more erratic in the water when these bass are wide open, just going after bait, you know. A lot of these techniques and jig heads are going to be really kind of fished in open water more than anything. You know, bait-driven fish, you know, stuff like that. Pressured waters, you know, when you just have to have a bite. This is going to be the technique to get those bites.
Definitely, you can tell, you know, that pintail. You know, I've got these boot tails over here. And that pintail just looks like it would just sit there and just have that perfect little flutter.
It really does, man. And it, you know, and it's just that much more natural. And I feel like, you know, those fish get on the pressure waters, especially that are just getting a ton of fishing pressure. I feel like those fish get a little acclimated to that swing, you know, that boot tail swim bait. And I think that's why that, you know, the split tail, you know, it is just a little bit more natural. Just a little trick right here, you know, you can get some bites on your solid colors, your pearl whites, you know, your total solid colors, you know, but there's a little trick with these two-tones. You know, say a fish is swimming up to this thing and it's doing that roll, it's going to give it off a little bit more flash. It's just going to look that much more natural, like a bait fish, you know, the two-tone.
And I think that, you know, I haven't fished this. I haven't had the, you know, the rod in hand experience, but it looks like that smaller head, that smaller, lighter profile with that fat body, it's going to give it that much more action. Whereas an older style jig head would weigh it down, and you know, all the action would be in the head, and it would just dive. This looks like that's really giving it that roll.
Yep. And you know, that just wants me to, you know, motivates me to talk about some of these weights that give off the best action. All these ball head, I think, and the Guppy head that we just talked about, I think, you know, a quarter and 3/16 is pretty much the juice, man, when it comes to your overall, you know, wanting to fish these. I mean, I feel like these, even on a kind of a windy day, if you got to get them down deeper, these are going to be probably the most popular, you know, weights to fish this technique. This VMC and the 3/16, man, is freaking magic from what I understand. So a quarter and 3/16 are going to be the best weights to fish these. I mean, obviously, if you have to get down deeper and you see, you know, it just really just depends on where the fish are at in the water column. You know, how much wind you have that day, you know, to get down. But I would stick with your lighter weights because, you know, it's just going to give that trailer the right action that you want. You know what I mean?
And what I think, you know, people need to remember is you've got a lead head versus a tungsten head. Those may be the same exact weight, but the tungsten is more dense, so it's going to be a smaller profile.
Yep, it is. I mean, you can see the profile right there. You know, it is just a little bit smaller for sure. So, you also, you know, if you want to, you know, they're designing 90-degree line tie hooks. You know, this super finesse hook, man. This thing is tiny.
That is,
you know, but it's got the 90-degree. These haven't even been out on the market that long. If you want to take your favorite split tail, you know, swim bait, soft plastic swim bait, you know, you just bury it in there, you know, drop it down in there, and then, you know, you're going to use like your nail weights. This one right here is a 1/4. You know, you put it kind of down in the bottom of the swim bait, and you can fish that juggle minnow. That juggle minnow right there is phenomenal for this technique. It's a 6-cent juggle minnow. So, you know, those are some of my favorites, and it seems like that's kind of what out on the market right now. I mean, this is just a start, you guys. I mean, there is so many soft plastics that are coming out right now for this technique. It's unbelievable. That didn't even hit the market yet. And what I'm discovering watching these tournaments, Bassmaster Elites, MLF guys, you know, they're sneaky, man, because they're catching all these and winning these tournaments on these trailers and soft plastics that ain't even been released yet. So, you know, this is just a start. I mean, it really is just a start. So,
well, you know, I was going to point out, you know, that Mylar minnow, that I've used that as a drop shot minnow, and you've got it on that darter head, so it you know that works good too.
Yeah, it's killer. This Mylar minnow is freaking awesome, man. I mean, it's super freaking realistic. It's got unbelievable action. The BR fish, I'm sorry, the BR fish dart head. This trailer right here, the BR fish soft plastic head, was supposed to be designed for this. Well, it is designed for this. I'm sorry. It's designed for this darter head, and you know that right there is just absolutely deadly, unbelievable action. But that Mylar minnow I discovered is awesome too.
You just got to be careful rigging
it. Yes, there's foil. There's foil in these. Where is that thing? The Mylar minnow. Yeah, right there. That's it right there. There's foil inside this thing, and it has to be rigged just perfectly because it gets on that hook point, and if you don't get that thing just right, man, that foil comes out. I hate to even say that about these things, man, because they're just so phenomenal. I'm just being real with y'all. I mean, that thing.
Well, it is repurposing a drop shot bait. So you know from the mosquito hook in the nose to a full body, darter head. Yes. You know, mistakes will be made, but it's worth it, isn't it?
It is. It's worth it. But really, the one that I'm most excited about is this new owner range roller. These come in, and you can get finesse as you want with these things too, guys. And I think that lighter weight, when your fish are up in the water column, they're on bait. This right here comes all the way in like 190 seconds to your 130 seconds to 364 seconds, if I'm saying that right. But the lighter weight is going to come in your 1 or 2 aught hook, which, you know, you're going to have to use. This is for like your ultra finesse type stuff. which I recommend using a medium light rod, you know, for that type of stuff. That Raid soft plastic, and when I say small, these are some freaking small little baits. But I mean, you guys, that just goes to show you right there how finesse you can really get with this technique. And the more finesse you get, these fish are not going to be able to resist that. Yeah. They're just not. I mean, it's that's what makes this technique so special. When you just have to have a bite and all your stuff's not working out there, man, pick this up and use it. You know what I mean?
And I know they have said, there's been rumors that Kitech is coming out with the small pintail.
Yes.
So a Kitech pintail paired with that.
Yeah, and you know it's a Kitech, so you know it's going to be the freaking juice, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know it's going to be awesome. So, as far as gear and line that you want to throw with this, like I said, I kind of touched on it. You know, your super light weights, I suggest a medium light rod. A little heavier, you know, your mediums will handle it perfectly.
Now, are you running braid to leader, or are you running straight fluoro?
I am. I'm running a braid from anywhere from 10 to 15 pound braid, and I use Seaguar Smackdown in the high biz green. You know, and then I use a FG knot, and we're gonna run it to the Sunline FC Sniper. My connect line's gonna be a FG knot. It's by far and away the strongest, you know, connect knot. So 10 to 15 pound braid to a 8 to 10 pound fluorocarbon leader seems to be, you know, awesome. And you know, you're already using spinning gear, so you know that braid to leader is going to give you that much more sensitivity.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you're working these baits, and when they bite this thing, you know, they're going to bite it with purpose. They're going to eat it, you know, because it looks that natural. You're going to feel that bite in your hand because you're doing all the right things, you know, to catch these fish.
Oh yeah, I mean, and plus, if you're running a tungsten head, fluoro leader to braid on a spinning rod, I mean, it's the sensitivity. You're at the fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You can't get any more sensitive than that.
Yeah. So I mean, guys, no matter if it's old school to new school, I feel like you're going to be able to, you know, I don't know that fish will ever get acclimated to this necessarily, but there's going to be a time and place for old school. I mean, these things seems like, you know, it transitions back and forth in the fishing industry. It's been going on that way for years. You know, you want to fish something new, but you're like, oh man, I forgot about that. You know, I'm going to go back to old school. You know, so Will's actually got a really cool way for when your soft plastics get beat up and tore up and stuff from fish. He turned me on to this Mend It. Man, why don't you talk about that for a minute?
So, Mend It. Whether you're fishing old school, new school, worms, brush hogs, whatever. So, we all get our baits rashed. All right? Hook rash, catching fish. You know, your plastics, and it always seems like it's the one bait that you've only got 3 left.
Yeah.
That's what they're hitting. All right? So, all the plastisols in these soft plastics, your Kitech, all right. Take a little bit of Mend It.
I like that little brush too, man. It's easy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like your super glue where you got to put a dab on it. You just easily brush it on.
Exactly.
I like that.
You take that Mend It, you put it on your bait, hold it for a set for, 2-3 minutes.
If you blow on it, will it dry that much quicker, or is there just no point?
Just let it
do its thing? Okay.
I don't really think there's a point.
Okay.
But get it in there, hold it to it, and that way that'll keep money in your pocket, and that'll keep baits on your hook.
And that could be a lifesaver at times, man.
Got that right.
You know, because we've all been there, man. You get down to your last pack and you're on just a killer bite, and you're like just going through them freaking soft plastics, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Completely.
So.
I mean, it happens to all of them. Yep. You know, that one, we broke that one in half.
Yep.
That one's back together. I mean,
they're never going to be able to tell.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Man, that's freaking awesome. So yeah, guys, I mean, I think that's pretty much going to do it. You know, giving you guys the rundown on all this stuff. I would absolutely love to hear from some of you guys. You know, drop some comments down in the comment section if you guys are already fishing this technique. I'm still learning a lot from it. I know I'm going to work hard at it to try to master this technique. But yeah, leave some comments down in the comment section if you guys are just out there just catching the snot out of them already. I want to hear from you. I'll absolutely reply to you guys. I'm always learning when it comes to bass fishing, so the more you can tell me, guys, the better. So I mean, I'm totally down for that. So,
and I can't wait to get out and try it.
Heck yeah. And we're definitely going to have some future videos, man, so you guys stay tuned. We got a lot of on the water videos coming up here because we are about to be in spring and these fish are about to bust loose.
Prime time.
Me and Will are going to be on the water doing some on the water videos. I cannot wait. So you guys stay tuned, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks to Will for having me.
Anytime, always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. And you guys have a great day, and we'll see you guys on the next one.